I would like to thank you for taking the time to sit with me to share your experiences with us, with our audience, and hopefully future clients. Really appreciate you taking the time out.
Thanks for the invite.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself, if you have a business, about your business, and what industry you're in.
Yeah, so well, my name's Imani Abernathy, and I am in an e-commerce business. So well, during the day I work in customer service just as my full-time job, but outside of that I have an e-commerce business selling home care, skincare, and health and wellness products.
Oh, okay.
So I've been doing that for a little over 6 years now. So yeah, so that's what I do. Work and business. That's literally pretty much my whole life.
That is exciting. And you found a good business to get into, because we are all about our health and skincare. And so how did you hear about us?
Yeah, so it's funny. Me and Shavonna worked together briefly on the off season of taxes. And I had essentially been struggling to figure out my own taxes. And I was like, hey, I need some help. Because I have been trying to do it by myself for a while, using the digital services. But it was so much harder, because at one point, during the pandemic, I had switched jobs so often that I had 5 different W-2s and my business income. So then I had my 1099 miscellaneous and my work income, that I literally was like, I cannot do this myself. And it got so complicated, and I was just like, hey, Shavonna, I know you mentioned that you have taxes. Could you please help? And ever since, and that was 2020. So ever since 2020, I've been, going to her, because I'm like, I can't do this alone.
Yeah.
It was just so much, the math and everything, and the digital platforms, they don't really explain things to me. And so I wanted somebody that was going to be able to explain all of the ins and outs of everything that goes into taxes. Why are they charging me for this? Or, those types of things. So.
Wow, that's kind of similar to my story. So I definitely get it. And what stood out to you about Anointed Accounting that made you choose to do business with us?
I always like to, when I'm doing business with anybody, one is always about, I like supporting small businesses. So people who, it's not like a huge corporation, I much rather would support small businesses, but also I always like to, when I can tell people have good values, I'm all about, if you are really going to pay attention to me and not try to get over on me, and it is.
Especially these days.
And there's so many people who will, there's so many people who thought they were trusting people to make sure that they were filing their taxes properly, and now you see all these rich people who get to these really wealthy stances in life, and all of a sudden they owe thousands of pounds, thousands of back taxes, because they trusted a person who was just not doing things the right way. And so when I met Shavonna and she told me about Anointed Accounting, I was like, even the name just gave it for me, because I'm as my shirt says, God is dope. So the anointing was the biggest thing for me. If I'm gonna be with anybody, I want them to have good values if I'm gonna work with anybody. So that was a big thing for me.
That is amazing. I mean, a lot of people probably don't even think about that, when they're, trying to find somebody to do taxes, IRS is on me, I just need to get it done, whatever. So, the fact that you factored all that in is enough in within itself, So, I know you say you had a business need for your corporate, your regular job as well as your business. Did you also have any personal needs, or was it just strictly business need for?
Well, all around. Because I think my business and my personal work and everything like that just all melded together, and I just felt overwhelmed at one point. That I was just like, I'm looking at all the W-2s and everything, and I'm like, I can't do this. And then I'm like, I can't sit there for hours and try to figure out what numbers go where. I was like, I'm gonna end up owing the government thousands of dollars because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And so I was like, I need to take the burden off of myself of trying to figure this out and go to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because I could see from like the even just coming into the space, you see the plaques, and you know that there is knowledge here. You know that she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
And that's what I was like, because I couldn't even tell you. I'm like, not a clue.
I'm like that when it comes to certain things. It's like, who can I pay to do this or that? So I definitely get that. And so, what services do you receive from Shavana? Is it just tax services, or do you receive any other of her services that we offer?
Right now it's just taxes, but as my income grows, I know that I'll need other needs because my business is expanding. So
go expand the business.
Thank you. So it's like moving rapidly, and so I'm like, so what do I need to do here? And but she answers so many of my questions that I'm like, okay, do I need this or do I need that? and that kind of helps me to move forward as I'm preparing for this, next phase of income.
Okay, say it, girl. Claim it, own it. It will be yours. Next phase, here we come. And how long have you? Well, you say you've been doing business with her since 2020.
Yeah.
Right? If you could describe your client support team in 2 words, what would they be? And this is just kind of thinking about, anybody else within the company that's reached out to you, or like, how would you describe them in 2 words?
Communicative, and knowledgeable.
Well, thank you for that. That means our degrees didn't go to waste.
I was like, those 2 I would say are the biggest things, because like I'm all about communication. I'm all about, if there's something I need to know, let me know. How do I do this? What do I need to do? When's my next meeting? Those types of things. And when do I need to have this in? And those types of things. And that's always been communicated to me. And like I mentioned before, I didn't know a lot about taxes in general. And finances overall. And it's been super helpful to have someone in my corner.
And it's good to know you have people that you can trust.
Yes.
Right? Because I was just speaking to someone earlier today during an interview. I'm like, with all the scams and different things going on, like that's kind of why we wanted to do these interviews, to be like, we're not trying to scam you, we're not trying to do any of that. Like, we're literally
because there's so many of those.
So,
like, I'll fix your credit. I'll do this,
and you never know. And then they're selling it on the black market.
So scary. I was like, I'm so glad I found an unanointed accounting, because I was like, there's so many things that just pop up on my social media nowadays, and it's overwhelming.
Sometimes I have to tell people, like, don't be too quick to just jump on that. Sometimes you can tell the signs. Like, if somebody's like just in a rush to get your information, but they're not giving you any information, they're not, like speaking on their background or anything. It's like, wait, hold
any
on.
of their degrees, any of their any of them.
They're just like, hey, give me your money, I know what I'm doing, trust me. It's like, no.
It's like, no.
So if you could describe your accountant, Shavana, in 2 words, what would they be?
Patient and helpful.
Okay. And were we able to provide you with the results you expected thus far?
Oh yeah, I would say definitely. You all have definitely provided me with the results. Thus far, because like I mentioned previously, I didn't know anything, and I came in with thousands of questions. I'm like, what is this for? Why are they asking me for this? And the whole team, Shavana and everybody else, has been so helpful in just answering those questions. So that has made me be able to breathe overall. And when tax time comes, I'm like, I already know what I'm doing.
Call up myself. Call up my people.
Like,
not my people.
I'm call the team. Hey. What do I need to say?
Okay, very good. Are there any services you would like to see added that maybe we don't currently provide, or just something you wonder if, like, hey, I wonder if they do this?
Not that I can think of. The team is well rounded, so I'm like, Not that I can think of right now.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. And is there anything we could change to make your experience better? Good, bad, or indifferent?
Is there anything I would change? I'm gonna go with my last answer. I would say no. I've had such a positive experience over the years that literally I talk to everybody. I'm like, you need somebody? You need somebody?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if you don't have somebody, if you're just using those, digital services,
Yeah.
I know a team.
Yeah. I used to use those digital services until she went in business for herself. And I was like, okay, you're my account now.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know I was going to be a part of the equation, but here I am.
You're right.
And so how likely are you to recommend anointed accountant? Well, you just said you kind of do that already. Okay.
I was like, very likely.
I'm sorry, my questions are getting a little rhetorical.
Oh, it's okay, because I be so here.
And let me ask you, is it okay for us to share your responses and any relative information on our website or social media platforms?
Yeah, please share.
Okay.
I am grateful for anointed accounting. So, that's why I was so super open to doing the interview, because I've literally had the best experience. I'm like, I haven't even been anywhere else, so never even questioned going to doing anything else, than that, since, like I said, 2020.
Yeah.
So I recommend to everybody. Emphasis on everybody.
Well, we definitely appreciate that. And finally, do you have anything that you want to add to this interview? Outside of the questions that I've already asked, maybe anything you want our audience to know, or maybe anybody out there that's thinking about getting an accountant, or might be on the fence about it, or just anything.
I would add to everything that I've already said that even if you feel like you don't need an accountant team, it's super helpful. Like, I think people feel that, I don't have a reason to have an accountant, but I wish I would have done it earlier, because then I would have all my, everything, in one place. And now I do, but I just think that it's really great to have a team behind you as you're doing different things, because there's a lot of information out there, but having your information coming from one source is bar none the best thing. So I would just add that if you're on the fence about getting an accountant, do it.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all heard it from a satisfied customer. So that pretty much concludes our interview. That concludes the questions. Again, I really thank you for your time, for spending with us. We really value your business, we value your opinion, and we just wanted you to share it with the world. But before I end the interview, I want to give you an opportunity to kind of elaborate on your business a little bit. Maybe tell people where they can find your products. If you have any website, or how can they get some skincare if they need to.
Yeah. So I have a business Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Mani's Essence. So MANIESSENCE, because it's the essence of me. And the products are actually supplied by Amway Global. They've been around for over 60 plus years, and the products are vegan based, so really good for your skin, along with healthcare products and cleaning products, green cleaning products. So I have access to a plethora of things. So reach me on there. It has my website on there. It's a private Instagram, so just request, I'll add you back. But I have access to so many products, and our product category is expanding often. So if there's something you're looking for, definitely reach out. I'm always looking for, to support people and, help enhance their, year.
Okay. And I love the sugar scrub, and I love the oil. I just want to say that. I just want to put that out there. I had samples, and I'm trying to get more. So
Yes.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That concludes our interview. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn these cameras off.
Yay!